Hello, my name is Melissa Lott, and I want to talk about childhood poverty and the negative impact it is having on the education of impoverished children. According to 2016 data, 15.6% of children are impacted by child poverty. This equates to roughly 11.5 million children who are living in households that were below the poverty threshold. This is important because these children are also going to our educational institutes. Children living in poverty have a higher number of absenteeism and or leaving school altogether because they have to support financially for their families and or they have to care for family members. The dropout rate of 16 to 24-year-olds students who come from low-income families are 7 times more likely to drop out than those that come from families with higher incomes. 40% of children living in poverty aren't prepared for primary schooling. This is because when they start school, they come with smaller conversational languages, which equate to academic learning. Children that live below the poverty line are 1.3 times more likely to have developmental delays or learning disabilities than those who don't live in poverty. Less than 30% of students in the bottom quarter of incomes enroll in a 4-year college, and of those 30% that do enroll in a 4-year college, only 50% graduated. Some current initiatives and policies that the United States is doing to help address childhood poverty is the SNAP program, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and then the Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC, and Child Tax Credit, CTC. SNAP in 2010 allowed 22 million children's families to have resources to be able to provide nutritional meals. And of the 1 out of every 3 children receives benefits. 57% of SNAP families are at the poverty line. In 2010, SNAP kept about 2 million children out of poverty. In 2011, SNAP benefits reduced the number of children in extreme poverty by half, cutting that number, which would have been 2.8 to 1.4 million because of SNAP benefits. The other policy that America is currently participating in that I mentioned is the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit. These are important because they give assistance to working parents with children, and this is important because of low wages and or minimal hours that these families may be working. 10 things that Congress can do to address childhood poverty are to raise the minimum wage. This is important because by raising the minimum wage, it will bring more finances into the family and move the gross income of families into possibly a higher bracket. The next thing that Congress could address would be pay equity. And this is important because most families who participate in the SNAP program are female single-headed households. So addressing that pay equity would be essential in allowing these families to be able to earn more money. And then also the creation of jobs would be important to address by Congress because it would allow more people to get into the work market to be able to provide for their own families.